Good evening, everybody. If we could all, that can rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Right hand over the heart. Place flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, Mr. Duff.
Councilmember Cash. Councilmember Johnson.
Here.
Councilmember Lau. Mayor Pro Tem Crosby.
Here.
Mayor Hepburn.
Here. We will move to announcements of upcoming community events. I think we have Doug Bro from the Church of the Brethren.
Yes, thank you very much. Appreciate the time tonight. I just want to say first, what a great community event out there, and the feeling and the music was fabulous. But of course, this school district is known for a great music program. But I'm happy to say that the Laverne Church of the Brethren, our choir started in 1895. So there's quite a tradition there too. And it was tough for 3 years to be without a Christmas concert. But this year, we're having The Light of Hope Returning, performed December 18th at 4 p.m. and December 21st at 7:30. The music, let me just remind everyone too, or as normal, there's no admission fee. However, offerings will be gratefully accepted. Laverne resident Sean Kirshner has composed this American folk oratorio. Pianist, organist, a tenor with a LA Master Chorale, as well as their composer in residence from 2012 to 2015. Kirshner's works are known internationally. And The Light of Hope Returning premiered in 2019 in the San Francisco Bay Area. In 2021, concerts were held in Vancouver, British Columbia, and San Antonio, Texas, featuring his work, The Light of Hope Returning. This season, not only is it being performed in his home church, but also here in Laverne, but also in Altadena, Pasadena, and San Francisco. Along with Kirshner on the piano and the hammered dulcimer, the choir will be accompanied by some of the area's most accomplished musicians. There's a critically acclaimed jazz saxophonist, Tom Lohr, stage and screen actor and LA Master Chorale soloist, Cynthia Marty, and the MacArthur Fellows and founder of the Street Symphony in LA, also the LA Philharmonic violinist, Vijay Gupta. I hope you'll plan to attend. No one will want to miss this heartfelt work that celebrates Christmas, the New Year, and the winter solstice. And I'd love to leave a poster with you.
Please, please.
Just
do you have something online that you can send to us?
Oh yeah, I have.
Just
I have a
like
file.
that.
I can send you a PDF of this.
That'd be great. We can post it on our city website.
Would I send that to?
To
the city?
This gentleman right there.
Okay. And there's my card, sir. Hold me.
We'll get it out to social media and we'll get you some people.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very
I have a
much.
pork roast I have to get home.
You weren't kidding. Potatoes and carrots.
Potatoes and carrots.
This
wine
meeting,
sauce.
this meeting could be short. So, hey, yeah, meeting adjourned. Let's go.
Dinner at this guy's house. Did he leave his address on the?
Kathy. Or I should say Miss Kalusik. He's jingling.
We're all friends here, right?
That is correct.
Kathy Kalusek, 2242 3rd Street. Mark that address down because this Saturday, December 10th, from 1 to 5, and I know Saturday is crazy. I know we got Winter Wonderland. I know that Bonita High, they're performing. But in between that, from 1 to 5, we are having Laverne Historical Society vintage sale and home tour. We're gonna have all kinds of great vintage stuff that you can do your Christmas shopping with. We're also gonna have baked goods, Sherry's magnificent pomegranate, apple, and cinnamon jellies and syrup, and the Exactly, and the new 2023 batch of lemon marmalade is going to be out. Not only will we have all that at 3 o'clock, we're going to have a choral group from University of Laverne to entertain us. And we're also having a home tour. So you can come see my crazy purple house and my neighbor's beautiful house and my other neighbor across the street, his beautiful house. It's the Blickenstaff and McClellan houses. They have plaques. We don't have plaques yet, but we'll work on that. So again, it is 2242 3rd Street this Saturday, 1 to 5. Come up, bring your pocketbooks. We're signing people up for memberships, renew your membership. We take donations, cash, check, credit cards, everything. So please join us.
I'd say Bitcoin, but it's not doing too well right now.
No.
Our board's a little old for that, but talk.
And again, 3 to 4 is where the University of Laverne choral singers are going to be there.
Yes, yes.
Can
So
you give us,
come join us.
can you send us a PDF or flyer on that
I
to the
think Sherry-
city?
I think
and send
Sherry
it to
has
us?
something. So yes, I
Please
will.
send it to
I
me
will
also, and we'll push it out, all of us.
Sounds good. Yeah, she
Great.
couldn't make it tonight, but we'll email it out to you guys.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Any other announcements?
And like we just said, it's all music all the time. We have the Bonita Yuletide, that's going to be this Saturday as well. So hit Winter Wonderland in the morning and then go to the Historical Society at 1 o'clock. And then at 2 o'clock and at 7 o'clock. So you can hit all that and then the 7 o'clock night show at the Bonita Performing Arts Center to watch that magnificent choir that you just heard, plus their other groups, choir groups will be singing as well from the Bonita High School.
And don't forget Winter Wonderland. It's 10 o'clock until, that's what I said, 9 o'clock till 1. But it is a lot of fun. The kids love it and it's well received. There'll be vendors, there'll be food, there'll be snow, there'll be crafts. So it's a lot of fun. We went last year with my grandson and he had a ball, and the snow's a lot of fun, and it'll stick a lot longer now because it's cooler. Anyway, we must do that. Anybody else have any announcements, council? We will move
I-
to,
I got a couple.
oh, I'm sorry.
I want me to save it to the end?
No, go now.
Okay, no
No.
problem.
No, we got a pot roast or pork roast.
Of
Sorry.
course, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Yvonne, I appreciate you. We're hosting our December 14th, Laverne at the Laverne Community Center. Lunch will be provided at 11 a.m. and we'll begin at 10:45. Please come early, socialize, enjoy a hot cup of coffee and a great lunch. And I want to thank the Plowman family for their generous donation in paying for this lunch that we have for our seniors and our folks that are going to be coming. Secondly, sorry, technology here. On December 16th, 17th, and 18th, I want to thank the Laverne Brewing Company for hosting our first annual Sparks of Love Toy Drive. If you come out and bring unwrapped gift, your first beer is only for $1. So I want to thank the Laverne Firefighters Association and Crazy Bear Bikes. What we'd like to do is all the gifts that I found out that we donate here, the Sparks of Love stays in Laverne. So I really thank the Crazy Bear Bikes folks that really came through and they're taking the time to build these bikes. We're at over 12 bikes already donated, and it's going to be a great time if you come out. I'll definitely be there. Try not to be there all 3 days. I'll do my best, whatever my liver can take, but I will be there during that time. So December 16th, we'll have Flashback Friday with DJ. The 17th is a cornhole tournament and an ugly sweater party with outfitters. And on the 18th, it will be a Sunday ticket for football. And again, you come out during that time, you donate unwrapped gifts, you get first beer for $1. So looking forward to seeing you guys there. That is all.
Johnson? No, it's not. But we got a pork roast on. Come on, man. We're just giving it up.
Yeah, this one, it's just a tap. It's been a sad time for the Castellano family. We lost 2 members of the family in the past month. Inez Chavez and Helen Cerna. Just wanted to remember them. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Condolences to the family.
Oh, now I've got two. I was just going to announce, just if anyone's interested, that there is a YFAC meeting tomorrow night at 6:30 in here. So if you're interested in coming and seeing what's going on in our neighborhoods with our kids, please feel free to attend. You'll also get to meet some of our amazing people from the district, from police and from our SRO and everything else. So if you're interested in that, please do. I don't even know which way to turn right now. So please know that that meeting is tomorrow night at 6:30. There's also an active transportation committee meeting next Tuesday, the 13th at 5 p.m. in here as well.
I was not able to attend because I was on vacation, but we had an amazing tree lighting ceremony at the Monero Square. Thank you for council. Thank you, Public Works. Thank you for all of the staff and all of our departments for an amazing downtown stroll for our downtown business district. I guess it was amazing. It was like, I was told it was like downtown Disney. So you get comments like that. And I got pictures from the council and also the basically the what am I doing here? We're all and also these in the God, what am I trying to say? No, I haven't seen that one yet. No, just the fact that we christened the new stage at 4 o'clock, and then it was the tree lighting, and also Santa was there, and then the night before Christmas was read. So I wasn't there, but I know we were well represented, and it was absolutely a ball. Everybody had a great time. So thank you, staff and all. We have someone with their hand up. Is that correct? Ms. Beauchamp?
Hello?
We can hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you, Janita.
Can you hear me?
We can hear
I don't
you.
think you can hear me.
Janita, we can hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Hello? Not working.
Janita, we can hear you. Go ahead, Janita.
Hello? Having technical issues.
We can hear you just fine.
I'm having technical issues. Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello? Okay. I'm not sure which one's working. My public announcement is this Thursday, December 8th. The Laverne Coalition for Concerned Citizens, LV3C, is hosting a meeting at Rock of the Foothills Church in the Bush Hall at 6 p.m. This will be a 6-month report from our mayor, Tim Hepburn, as well as the open Q&A. So we're inviting all Laverne residents to come and listen to what's been happening since he has been reelected, well, elected as council member, but chosen as mayor by the council, and give us an update on what's going on in the city, as well as ask questions of things that may be coming up in the future, and kind of have a frank conversation in a casual manner. So Laverne residents, this Thursday, December 8th, 6 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. Did everybody get that? December 8th at is it 6?
6 p.m.
Was it 6? I thought it was 8. 6 p.m. 6 p.m. at the Church of the Foothills. Rock of the Foothills. That's on Wheeler Avenue, right? They'll be posted on the website. Yeah. Sorry, I wasn't prepared for that one. I go back. I want to thank Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem Crosby for filling in for me. He did a fantastic job and represented our city well, as he always does. But I do appreciate that. I know when I leave and go somewhere that got capable hands to push the city forward. So thank you. That's all.
Don't leave.
Okay, consent calendar. We have anything pulled? Mr. Duff? Any questions, comments? Then I'll take a motion.
I move to approve the consent calendar.
Second,
A second.
vote please.
That was approved 5-0.
Very good. We move to other matters, ordinance number 1113. Mr. Duff,
Bob Kress will give the staff report.
Mr. Kress.
Thank you. As our office was dealing in the past few months with some property nuisance matters, we realized that we could tighten up our ordinances to get to cost recovery. If we reach a point with a property nuisance case where bottom line, the city either needs to do the work or contracts to have the work done. The ordinance that's presented tonight in accordance with state law makes that cost recovery process a little bit tighter and easier to get to. There are some other provisions that are presented as part of this ordinance that basically is existing language that the city already has, but it's all presented as a package. But that's the purpose. And again, it's just one of those ordinances that has been in the code book for a number of years, and it was time to take a look at it and, as I said, tighten it up a bit. So happy to answer any specific questions you might have.
Any questions for council?
Yeah, I do have,
Councilmember Johnson.
the ordinance talks about an appeal procedure and a hearing by Board of Appeals. But there's no discussion or anything in here about who comprises that Board of Appeals.
Okay, the Board of Appeals, the next item on your agenda, you'll be adopting the updates to the building and fire codes. And there is a section somewhere in the municipal code that when we adopt the county building code by reference, it says that the Board of Appeals shall be the city council. So it is in the code.
Okay.
Any other questions for council? Or, no, for council. Whoa.
This is just a request for when we have things like this come forward, in the future, is it possible to get a red line document to delineate what has or hasn't changed? Just so we see what was there before and what was after. I'm fine with the purpose and the intent of this night, but I think it would be helpful to have that in the future.
Well, I'll pass that on to the next city attorney.
Mayor Pro Tem Crosby.
Yeah, because my question was what's added and what's not added to that, and finally found the pieces added. I think it's very appropriate, especially when we are just dealing with abatements from the golf course, and where now we can actually charge other fees for that too of our city workers, our attorneys. If they have to write that, those fees will be part of that too. So I think this really brings up date, and it's very appropriate so that we are gaining appropriateness. What our city puts out, we should be getting back from the people. So thank you.
I think we'll go to public comment. Any public comment on this item? You're all thinking about the pork roast. I know. We will close public comment and bring it back up to the dais. Just a real quick comment. I want to mirror the comments. I think it's important as we've been going through all of our different ordinances and also our fee structures. It's extremely important to stay up with the times. Fee structures pay for the services that we have in this community. I think it's extremely important that we capture, not gouge, but capture every possible cent that we can in our ordinances and also in our fee structures. As when I first got on council, that was my first question. How long has this been our fee structure? And it's been that way for a long time. And we're finally, last number of years with our council and the previous council, starting to review those and going over that. So I appreciate that. But I do like the red line because I can see a before and after, and it gives us an idea of what we're actually bleeding and what we're adding. So now we're going to take this one at a time. Is that correct, Mr. Kress? Or do we do them both?
Well, I'm not.
You're not doing the other one. Never mind. We're going to do this on by itself then. So with any other questions for council to staff?
You mentioned that, is it in the next ordinance that it lists the city council? Because I didn't see it in there either.
Because always.
With that, a motion?
I move to approve the city council introducing, waive further reading, and place on first reading ordinance number 1113, amending chapter 940 of Title 9 of the Laverne Municipal Code relating to property maintenance and public nuisance.
Second. That's second. Vote, please. Motion carries.
And that was approved 5-0.
Thank you. I have ordinance 1014, Lake Building Code.
Good evening, Mayor, members of City Council. Yes, this item is the urgency ordinance to adopt the 2023 Los Angeles County Building Code and the 2022 Fire Code and Green Building Code by reference. This evening's recommendation by staff is exactly that, to adopt the code, the latest code. Code cycle runs on a 3-year cycle, so these codes that are before you this evening will replace codes that were adopted in 2019. Those codes are the California Building Code, Electrical Code, Plumbing Code, Mechanical Code, and Residential Code as amended by the county adoption of those codes recently this November 15th. A few highlights, there's 2 more codes that I skipped past. There are 2 codes that have not been adopted by the county that we're offering up tonight for consideration. That is the State Green Building Code and the fire code. And if I may outline why, the county has not actually adopted their amendments to the fire code as of yet. That's expected to take place sometime in first quarter of 2023. So expect that to come back in the future. And the green code, specifically, the county has adopted amendments that are more stringent than are necessary. And so what we are doing is adopting the minimum for the green code so as to not burden property owners and developers with extensive costs that might come out of those proposed changes that are in the county version. I'd like to touch on one last piece of this urgency ordinance. There's a reason why we're taking a different path on this one. As I mentioned, the county recently adopted their code November 15th. It's been our practice to adopt their code by reference, and so those codes have only just recently existed. And taking the standard adoption schedule for the normal ordinance, we would not have time to make our deadline, which is due January 1, 2023. So that concludes my report. This evening, I have Raymond Tao with my office, as well as Mr. Montagami from the fire department, should there be any questions.
Council, any questions for Mr. Holly? Mr. Johnson?
Yeah, looking on page 5, it mentions the storage of explosive and blasting agents. How does that affect the storage of ammunition, black powder, for enthusiasts that may be storing those agents at home?
Sure, I will defer that question to Mr. Montagami.
Good evening.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Thank you. So the ordinance that's, as you can see there, is a pre-existing ordinance that is within the city's municipal code that was established some time ago. And eventually the fire chief, the fire code official has the authority to make any decision or determination as to any appeal process or anything that the individual may not agree with in the ordinance, of course. That would come back to chief's decision, of course. But that is something that's already been pre-established in our ordinance and something that we're not modifying in any way right now. So that is part of the fire code and part of the existing ordinance.
This mentions as defined in Chapter 2 of the California Fire Code, 2022 edition. And I'm not familiar with those definitions as to exactly what blasting agents are or explosives.
Right. So explosives and blasting agents are defined in Chapter 2, doesn't specifically get into the size, the gram, and so forth. It does later on in certain chapters of the fire code. However, the pre-existing, that's just a definition of itself is stated in the code in Chapter 2. It just defines that it's an explosive and blasting agents. It just defines that they are controlled under a certain chapter in the fire code. And another chapter in the fire code actually controls and specifies what the conditions are if you're going to store, use, or transport any of that product. That gets in much more details in the fire code later on. And explosive can be anything from fireworks that are aerial or anything that are used for, that are basically used for drilling as well, drilling purposes. A lot of times they do use blasting agents in those instances that we don't have in our city. So as a safety standard mechanism, we adopt those. That's just part of the standard of the fire code itself.
I guess I would like clarification, at least in the code, that some of those items that residents do have in their home, that they're not in violation of any type of a code in regards to firearms and their
Correct.
ammunition.
And blasting agents and explosives are not something that is really, those are on commercial scale. That's what they are. They're on commercial scale use. They're not for small ammunition, arms, or anything like that, that residents are allowed to use in their home or store in their home. So it's not, it has to do with the commercial use of those products.
Okay.
I hope that kind of clarifies a little further.
It clarifies your intent right here, but it's not what it says in the code.
I think what Mr. Johnson's looking for is just a definitive answer on what's allowable in the house, whether it be black powder for for that type of gun, or for cartridges or shotgun shells, or ammunition for a gun that's legally held. I think like that. I'm sure that it probably states it in there, but to make sure it doesn't outlaw it.
Correct. No, under normal use of firearms, it does not allow that at all. The fire code is very specific as to the use is more intended for commercial use and commercial storage of these, commercial use of these products that are applied in commercial settings, not in residential or private use of firearms, none whatsoever. That is not specified in fire code whatsoever. And small firearms and the powder is used in those ammunitions does not specify that in the fire code as far as use and storage. It has to be a certain level, a certain pound that it has to go into a certain level of gunpowder in order for it to be in a commercial setting and application. And that's where the fire code really comes in and controls, specifies how to store and handle those products in a setting. And it depends what occupancy you're in and what fire protection equipment is required for storage of those large volumes of those products. So it does not specify, does not refer to small arms ammunition for personal use.
Could we just clarify that in the code just to make sure?
Absolutely.
Okay, and you'll get that to council?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think my only comment about that was just the same comment that I had made to Attorney Kress, was that when we are seeing these, I think it would be helpful when there is a reference to a definition, if that definition could be provided so that we can have this clarification. Because again, I can see where the confusion can come in. I read it one way and then it was, and because I don't own guns.
Sure.
But I know that Councilman Johnson does hunt. So that is of a concern to him. So if we can just make sure that there's a red line version or additional information that can help clarify, that would be I think beneficial for folks to have.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
We'll do that. Thank you.
Any other questions before we go to public comment? Let's go to public comment. Do we have any public comment on this issue? Then we're going to close public comment, bring it back up to the dais. Council. Mayor Pro Tem Crosby.
Thank you for the why it's an urgency. If we always, I just wish we can get it earlier so we can have it the proper reading and proper timeframe, but I know that's not the case because of the county, not because of the city of Laverne and our employees. So just appreciate that. I just don't like to normally do things on urgency, like to go through the proper channels in the proper time, but understand that it was not our doing. So, but thank you for helping us and letting us know about that.
Anyone else wish to speak on this matter? As a contractor, I do appreciate the building codes because it gives us a guide to install correctly, not improperly, and safely. So we protect not only the occupants, we're talking high rise, low rise, residential, commercial. And it's very important that we follow these rules. Unfortunately, these things run behind. Usually when I'm going by code, it's 2 to 3 years difference on the code acceptance. So, and the minute you get a set of plans and you go to the next code, and if it's in that time frame, you bid it this way, and then you have to go to the new code. You have to change your method and you have to change your pricing because it changes. But I think it's good. I learned more about geological stuff than I needed to, but I appreciate the fact that we are going to go back for the green building code and also for the fire code. Once those get in the inception, Chief Nig.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. I just want to clearly or better define that in that Code 15.32.030, it does state as defined in Chapter 2. So the totality of the fire code and the whole Section 2 of the fire code is all of these definitions that will clearly define what blasting caps are and what allowable quantities are reference this particular subject. So I know it's not listed directly in here, but in Chapter 2 of that whole entire binder, it would define that. And just to elaborate a little bit more on what Fire Marshal Montagami mentioned, this is in the commercial setting, and there are areas in the fire code that will define what the allowable quantities are of that. In the commercial setting, there's really no mechanism for us to go and enforce or even inspect in the residential private setting. So us coming into your house and saying you can and can't have this isn't going to happen. So that's why it's not even relative to this right here. So Chapter 2 should address all of those definitions you were looking for. If that helps.
Thank you very much. So again, Mr. Howling, then. So the state green building code and also the fire code, once they get adopted, we'll go ahead and
So this evening, the recommendation is to adopt the state code and the intent is to not bring it back. It's
Okay.
the fire code that we are pending the county amendments. And that will come back sometime, tentatively, we're thinking the first quarter.
good luck.
Don't
with
have a
that.
date
I
right now
doubt
for you.
that. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
With that, council, have a motion?
Move to adopt by urgency ordinance number 1114 of the 2023 Los Angeles County Building Code and the 2022 Fire Code and Green Building Code by reference.
Second,
Second.
vote please. Oh, it's already on.
And that was
Roast.
approved 5.
Pork roast, not pot roast. Okay. We move to public comment. Do we have any public comments this evening? Gary, come on up. How are you? Thank you so much.
I got three things, real quick ones. The people that lost their house on baseline of the fire last week, is there some place you could donate? I don't like doing it on the internet. You never know where it goes. Is the fire department, police department taking up donations or anything?
Well, we can talk with the city manager and also Chief Nig just to make sure. And we'll figure that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Second one, Sunday morning, I was walking my dog at 6:30 down Emerald. And there's a dog laying in the street and couldn't get up, couldn't walk, really skinny. So I picked him up, carried him home, put him in the car, go with the police department. Usually takes dogs there. They don't do it no more. Why is that? Because I've done it before, a total of 5 different times. I've taken dogs there, put them in the cage because it's Sunday and nothing's open. So anybody from the police department here can.
Please,
Yeah,
let's do it after we close public comment, we'll have them come up and answer that. for
Okay.
us.
Okay, third, on your city manager you've adopted, we're going to start here. He's had quite a few jobs all over the place for such a young guy and not there for very long. Is he just going to be a yes guy for you guys, or is he going to do what's good for the Laverne? I'm just putting it out there.
We'll answer that
Yeah,
afterwards.
and then the last city manager, it was a big deal about him not living in Laverne. Does this guy live in Laverne?
I'll answer that after too.
I'll go back and shut up.
Thank you, Gary. Anybody else wish to speak on public comment? We have someone on the line. Ms. Beauchamp. Wait, let me call her. Oh, she dropped her hand. Oh, he pulled her in.
Okay, can you hear me? Thumbs up? Okay, thank you. First, I would like to request that in the future, we can offer the people who participate in city council meetings via Zoom or the YouTube channel. Maybe there can be a recording device outside so that they can also watch the tree be lit, and for other future events, such as when you do presentations, when you have that meeting before the city council meeting, when the teams are accepting their awards, or people are receiving prestigious honors I think it's important that they're included in those types of events as well, not just the people who are present in physical form. Secondly, I would like to personally thank Cynthia Gavelgon and the other volunteers for the wreaths across America. City of Laverne made their goal of 263 wreaths. Thank you to those who donated financially and also volunteering their time, and those who may still want to volunteer this coming, on the 17th, they're going to be placing the wreaths and need help with that. So you can go to the Wreaths Across America online or Facebook page and contact those that are in charge of coordinating that. I would also like to thank Elizabeth Eldana and Denise Fisher. Unfortunately, I was not able to attend, but I have heard from several neighbors that the K9 Foundation Christmas party that was held at the University of Laverne was an extravagant event and was very successful. And I'm sad that I wasn't able to go, but prior engagements, but I want to especially thank them. They worked tirelessly on that event. And so, obviously it benefits the entire city for the money that they raised for the additional K9 that they're going to be having. So I just want to say thank you for your time. I'm sorry I'm not able to attend in person. I'm sure you're all sad about that. I'll see you at the next meeting. Thank you.
Anyone else for public comment? We will close public comment and bring it up to the dais. Did we want to answer the questions first of Gary? Let's answer those questions. Did you, Chief Flores, please.
Good evening, everybody. Good question, Gary. Thank you. So if you would follow the police department on social media for many years, we had a huge campaign of stray animals. We'd post it, we'd have reunions. It was exciting. Unfortunately, during the pandemic, if anybody remembers, there was and we can't remember the name of the disease, a rabies type disease was going around with animals. And so it was putting our employees at risk to accept them, because what happens is people are in a rush and they drop the animal off at the front in the lobby. And then that has our records clerk, they stop working and then they deal with the animals, get them through the station. And then we have a cage in the back. So we had to stop that part. I think that disease has gotten under control since then, but we do contract with the Inland Valley Humane Society. And they do, that's part of their deal, is they'll come out and get animals. It may take a while, might not be urgent, but I will share the number that we use for them. It's 909-594-9858, or you can call the police department as well and we'll connect you to them. But it's a practice we unfortunately had to stop doing, and many police departments have. We were one of the last ones that were still doing it.
And he said this problem was on Sunday. Would the Humane Society be open on Sunday?
For dangerous animals typically, but that's about it. So, and we still can't, it's not our business to collect dogs and stray cats. Oh, this is the emergency number I just gave out. So maybe they'll come. We have a great relationship with the Inland Valley Humane Society. So hopefully.
No, we always have. And I think it's important. It's upsetting when you have an animal that's in distress that we, but I think we need to repost that, make sure that a Humane Society is known. And they do give us very good service.
Yeah. Oh, they do. Agree.
Very good service. Yeah.
Thank you. Anything else?
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Okay. Back a number of meetings ago, we decided that it was kind of cumbersome as far as the city manager living in the city that they work in. So we just scratched that. So that was not part of our deal. So, well, and as far as how many jobs the city manager, we had a number of candidates come in, and city managers are generally 3 to 6 years. Is that correct? 3 to 6 years tenure. And I think we chose the finest candidate, and I think he's going to do us a real good job. And I think he'll be here for a while. But Gary, as you know, nothing's for sure. But I think in Mr. Domer, we hired an excellent city manager. I know it's hard to replace Jess, but we're going to try. And but yeah, we're very confident. He's got a great past. He's done some fine work, and I think he's excited to be here. And I just think he's going to be a very good manager. So you'll have to trust in our council and our decision. I haven't mentioned this before, but we spent many hours on reviewing candidates and a lot of hours and reviewing many, but our staff put together a fine combination of good managers from all over. And it was a very difficult decision, but at the end, he rose to the top. And but I want to thank our council and also our staff for giving us such great candidates, but also for the time put into it to really make that decision. And it was a 5-0 vote that was in favor. So we're very confident and very happy to have him on board. And he's excited to be here. He even came to the tree lighting ceremony down in Monero Square, with his family. So that's a testament to he's really excited to come here. So hope that answers your question. And we'll figure out the dog thing. It's very disturbing. Yeah. Close public comment. We already closed. We're just talking. Council comments. Come on up. Who wants to speak first? Mr. Cash.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it. Wanted to answer that last part was your question about the Sahakian family that I went down to that live on Baseline. I went down the following day to just check on them, see what we could do. Community is very important to me. And I asked Vache, the homeowner that was there, and he just texted me. So they're doing good. They're staying at the other family at the house, and him and his wife and son are safe. And I want to thank first and foremost God for nothing happened to them, and I thank the fire department for their immediate and rapid response. It was amazing response to see. It was a very big fire, and most important thing, like I told Mr. Sahakian, that it is at least they're okay. So they created a GoFundMe page. I'll talk to our city manager and our city attorney, see if there's something I can share on the city side. I'll be sharing it on my social media side. You mentioned not doing it electronically. That's the best way, only way I know how, sir. I'm sorry, but if share with you, we can give him a call and contact him. Maybe set up a meeting and talk. Is that good? All right, sir. And that's all I have.
Councilmember Cash.
But I did go to Monero Square.
Yes, you did.
It was really good.
Cash.
Sorry, I did a minute with the mayor, and I had to flip it to Cash. I'm not as good looking, but I try. I'm trying to get there. I don't have that hype, But after that, we went to the Canine Foundation, and yes, it was an amazing time. It was amazing to see so many people that were there, and the great gifts and the donations and the raffles and the food, and it was just a great time. Sorry I couldn't stay too long. Can't come back out for the tree lighting ceremony, which I saw a lot of great people. I mean, it was the first time in a long time I actually seen the city of Laverne so full. I mean, right after that, we walked around and just trying to get a dinner somewhere was like an hour wait. I had never seen that. I haven't seen that in years. So it was really good to see. And I hope we could keep that momentum going, seeing all the businesses open and just people just coming back together. And, really thankful for that. So I hope we continue that going. And I look forward to seeing you guys here in the city of Laverne. So that is all.
Thank you, Councilmember Cash.
Thank you,
Councilmember
sir.
Johnson.
I really appreciate everybody up here on the dais. Selecting the city manager, that was a very good process. I think we did well. I want to thank Bob Kress and Jess Duff for your time on the dais with me as well. There'll be a transition at our next meeting, but I wanted to say thank you.
Councilmember Lau.
Thank you.
You got it.
Yes, it worked. I just wanted to say it's been a very busy December already, and we're only on the 5th day of the month. And I'm sure all of you have similar situations where you've got family obligations, you've got work obligations, you've got a million people pulling you in a million different directions. And so I just wanted to send a reminder that, set your boundaries. It's okay to say no. The people who love you will understand. but take that time for yourself because it can get pretty hectic around this time. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself and looking after you, because just like they tell you on the plane, if you don't put your oxygen mask on first, you can't help anyone else. So please look out for yourself, but also, please look out for others. I know this is a happy time for a lot of people, but it's a pretty sad time for others. And so, to the extent that you can extend a welcoming hand or extend your kindness and compassion, that is always appreciated, but I think especially appreciated during this time. And we do have great partners in Tri-City Mental Health and in other resources, so that if you know of anybody in need or if you are in need, there are resources available to make sure that you are okay, not just during this holiday season, but throughout the year. So I hope you have an enjoyable December. I know it goes by really, really fast, and sometimes we're jumping from one event to another. So just take a minute to, appreciate who you're with and when you're with them. So be kind and have a good week.
Mayor Pro Tem Crosby.
Thank you, Mayor. About the fire, and thank you for that report back. I just want to thank Fire Chief Nick because of him and his working. We can have the auto aid with LA County Fire, and talking with our firefighters on Saturday, we had the appropriate number of personnel with the assistance of LA County Fire. First call them there to help it, or it would have been much more devastating than it already was. So thank you for giving all of our city the safety, and the first time ever having automatic aid with LA County Fire. The police and fire station, if you guys all can go down, and the work that they did of just volunteers, different police and their family and fire and their family, went and decorated the stations down Station 1. So go down and see the work they've done. They're having a little contest back and forth of who can light it up more. I think before Christmas, it's going to be the Griswold's Happy House down there, but they've done an excellent job. And really, it shows the teamwork that our firefighters and our police, and bringing out their families on their day off and really coming out and showing spirit for our city. So really do appreciate that. We did rededicate Monero Square in honor of Skip Monero back and his family, Andy Monero, and his family came out, was part of our presentation. So really thanked Andy for his dad and how much he gave to Laverne and the University of Laverne, and Andy's kids and wife were there, and to really see it too. So that was very nice. Yvonne Duran, you guys did an amazing job out there tonight with Santa, but out there with the pictures with Santa and doing that, and Eric Shear and his department really with Monero Square. And so really appreciate that. And George Henderson reading "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." Yes, I said Henderson. I mispronounced his name the other day, and I'm so sorry. But George did a great job in reading it in front.
Was
Henderson?
no, what was it? What did you said?
I said Harrison.
Bored.
Yes,
That's okay.
he was rocking out a little bit. So,
Not on the plane.
Joe, thank you for pushing us. We have a light up on the flag. When you go outside, you'll see the light up on the building to the flag. And Joe, that's because of you, and you kept pushing. And thank you so much for getting that done. Today, this morning, I'm part of the Foothill Transit Governing Board, and this morning, the first hydrogen fuel bus was on the road, and it started at Chase's in Laverne. They had a little ceremony, and where they brought the governing board and executive board got to ride on the bus for the first time, and it's going to be coming on our route, the hydrogen bus. So it's new fuel, and it's got a lot more green, and it's not having all the toxins and all the other stuff going about. So I don't have all the specs on it for you, but you'll be seeing it around. And so though it started here in Laverne today. And we have our next meeting coming up to celebrate a very great career, Mr. Kress, and the great support that you've given us, Mr. Duff, and meeting the new city manager, Mr. Domer, coming up on the 19th. And we look forward to that. So thank you.
Thank you all. I will say that Mr. Kress, we had a rocky start at first when we first started, but I appreciate everything you do. Yeah, that's true. As a planning commissioner. No, you've spent many years here and you've given us great advice, and I appreciate what you've given to this community. You do care, you live here. So everything you do has a heart behind it. And we do appreciate that. Mr. Duff, we do appreciate your time here. And it's been a nice transition. And I can't thank you guys enough for being here. But I do want to thank Community Services Manager Yvonne Duran. You knocked it out of the park tonight. And also the police department and the fire department. Those kids were so excited. Although we might have to work on the backing up a police vehicle, but other than that, I think we're fine. We weren't sure if Mrs. Claus was ever going to get out of there. But I just, that's the part of our employees that a lot of people don't know, that they're the salt behind this whole community. And we really appreciate that because they make things happen. And the same thing like Monero Square with the Public Works. Everybody loves what they're doing. And that's the wonderful thing about Laverne. So thank you all very much. Also, this is the time where you, as Councilmember Lau said, there's a lot of things going on, but always take time to smell the roses and check out the Christmas lights in Laverne. Just go through and just enjoy it for a moment because we are busy, but you know what? Never too busy to that. And also, if you have extra dinner, if you have extra time, give it to those that don't have it. Connect with your families. It's very important. Very, very important. Fire stations, you guys are doing good. I went down on station 1 tonight and they've got some decorations up. So, and the public safety building, I haven't checked out 2 yet because it wasn't light out, but I'm sure they've got some decorations on it too. So all of you between police and fire, I love it. What's that?
You're having a competition.
1, 2, I haven't seen, yeah. I've seen 3, no, 3's good. I haven't seen 2 yet. 1's great. So we'll have to check it out. We'll give you our final countdown. But everybody's starting to decorating in Laverne. So it's just a wonderful place to cruise around with the kids and grandkids and take a look. Smell the roses. It's very important. And also, as Danita Beauchamp said, and also Mayor Pro Tem Crosby, they're at about 270 wreaths now, and they have about 80 to go for the Wreaths Across America, which is the 17th. And that's going to be at 9 a.m. over at Laverne Cemetery. So I would suggest if you have that extra, I think it's, was it $17 a wreath? So please donate. And I think it's a great cause. So it would be nice if we could do that. And we have, again, we must remember we have the Winter Wonderland this Saturday. There's lots of functions. There's lots of concerts. There's the Laverne Historical Society, the Heritage Foundation. There's just stuff rocking in this town. Let's try to enjoy it if you can, because that's the best time of the year right now. This week is packed with fun-filled stuff and the following week. So I think the most important thing is be safe, enjoy your family, and thank you all. Thank you for being here. Our next regular city council meeting will be on December 19th at 6:30 p.m. Everybody have a great week.
But we have the event.
We are adjourned.